Your family and your friends will betray you. And that's the part of life that a lot of us don't understand. We have these relatives that I don't know what happened to them. It's like they're not the same anymore. Your friends, they all switched up. Your family, they're always talking about you. They're never there to support you. You've always been there for your friends. You always reached out. You always would give them calls, send a text message, good morning messages, how you doing, how's your weekend? But it seems like they never reach out to you. It's as if though you don't exist. Same thing with your family. You try to have conversations. You try to be as friendly as possible. And it's almost like you don't exist, like you're the black sheep of the family. It's like everybody got a problem with you. You ain't do nothing to nobody. You don't disrespect nobody. But it's weird. And it's something that a lot of us been dealing with in today's day. Family betraying us, friends betraying us. And it's frustrating. It really is when you need someone to talk to, when you need a friend, family member, just for somebody to just kind of hear you out. You know, sometimes we just need people to listen to us, to hear our story, to hear what we're going through. And it's like nobody's there. It's a cold world. We're adults. We got to really move on. But at the same time, it's really frustrating to know how family and friends will betray you. It's something a lot of you may be going through. It's a thing that is very prevalent in society right now, where you don't even have family that you can communicate right now. Some of you literally are alone. Like, you are alone right now. Like, there are no family members you can actually call right now because they all betrayed you. And it's either they betrayed you or y'all just grew apart. And for some of your family members, you haven't seen them in years. You don't know what's going on. You don't know who's alive. You don't know who's dead. You just don't know what's going on. They don't even know if you're alive because nobody calls you. You still got the same number, but it seems as if though nobody cares to reach out to you. And it's sad because it's like when we were all kids, we had family that we were around all the time. We had cookouts, barbecues, picnics, family gatherings. You remember those days where your cousins would come over and you would ask your mom, your dad, can so-and-so stay over the night or at least over the weekend? You would play games and whatnot. And if your cousin had to go home, you would cry, like literally. And if they were allowed to stay at your house, man, it was the best time ever, man. Because to be honest, the reason why it was so exciting as kids when our cousins and family would stay over is because we hardly seen them. And if you really take this moment while listening to this video and reminisce on back in the day, if you've been there where you had a cousin or cousins, and when they were allowed to stay or spend the night, it was the happiest moment ever. Put a comment in the chat if that's you, because what you're reminiscing on is a time in your life where everything was perfect. It was a time when family meant something. The reason why you would be so happy that your cousins can spend the night is because you hardly ever seen them. And if the truth be told, guys, as much as we may think that when we were kids, our family was tight knit, I'm here to tell you that I don't believe it ever was. And the reason being is we got excited and happy when our cousins were able to spend the night or spend the weekend and leave Sunday night because they had to go to school. Why would we get excited? Why would we cry if our cousins had to go home and they couldn't spend the night? The reason why we would cry, guys, is because we never hardly seen our cousins. And if we never hardly seen them and we were so excited to be around them, that should tell us that our family really wasn't as tightly knit as we thought. That is why it was such a special time because we were allowed to spend some time with our cousins that we'd hardly ever be around. And that's why we missed them, because we didn't really spend that much time. So the time that we were able to have was such of great value to us that it meant everything, you know? And you could recall, your uncles that would give you money. Typically, these uncles were always getting drunk, always drinking beer and liquor, but they would always give you money. And you would go out with your cousins and buy stuff, go to the arcade room and have a good time. And it was a wonderful time. As a kid, it was a very, very special time to be alive, to have, relatives and cousins and family that, it was just a nice time. I mean, even if our families weren't as tightly knit as we would like, it was better than how it is today. Because most of us today, we don't even know where our cousins are. We don't know if they're alive. We don't know nothing about their kids. We don't know anything about them. And it's sad that in today's day, we're literally grown older. We all started families, and we have no connection to the people that we once had connections with. And I think that it's a sad situation because most of those family members from the past, they all betrayed you today. Most of you had fallouts with your cousins, the very same people that you once cried for, the very people that you longed to be around. Y'all all had fallouts. They betrayed you. They turned their back against you. And typically it was a time in your life where maybe you weren't doing as well, and maybe they thought they were doing perhaps better than you, or something along those lines. And they just turned their back on you, or you just grew apart. Sometimes that happens in life where we get older, we get jobs, we get careers, we have kids, we might move to another city, another state, another borough, and it's like we're just busy. We get too busy, we just don't communicate no more. But a lot of it have to do with hate and jealousy. A lot of our family members grew to hate us and grew to become jealous of us. Maybe you were the black sheep of the family. Maybe your mother was the black sheep of the family. And because your mother was the black sheep of the family, you inherit the same black sheep, position. And it be like that. Sometimes you may be the victim of being the black sheep of the family because of your mother. Or perhaps, sometimes it be like that. Most of the times, that is exactly what it is. You didn't want to take on that coat, but it is what it is. If family is beefing with your mom, then you being an offspring, you're going to now take on that same punishment. And it's just unfortunate that family truly have betrayed most of us. A lot of your family today have betrayed you. They talk about you in a negative way. They're never there to help you. And it's like no matter what you go through, it's almost like they're happy that you're struggling. Some of you had to go through serious struggles of homelessness, struggles where you may have lost a job and, had to go to a shelter, or living paycheck to paycheck in order to catch the rent and pay the bills. And it's like you were in need all the time. And no matter how much you reached out to your relatives, they would always have an excuse. They would never help you. But the sad thing about this is that you always help them. Like, a lot of you have always helped your relatives. You always supported them when they were in trouble. And when you fell on hard times, or, things weren't in your favor, you kind of reached out to them, and you didn't really want to ask them for nothing because you're not really that kind of person. A lot of you are not the type of person that like to ask people for financial support or a loan or whatever the case is. And it's not really a pride issue, even though you can say it is. It's just that for most of us, we just want to kind of do for ourselves. And, we don't really want everybody in our business, because a lot of times people throw it in your face. When people help you, a lot of times they throw it in your face. And for some of you, you may have had family members that may have helped you in a way. Even though they loan you money, they didn't give it to you. They loaned it to you. And then they threw it in your face. They told everybody how they were the one that paid your rent for 3 months, and they were the ones that bought you food, and how if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have nothing to eat. And it's like they threw that in your face and they embarrassed you publicly and made it look like you were a nobody. And all of that stuff could have been kept confidential. That could have been just between you and your relatives. But they wanted to prove to the world that they were responsible for your success. And because of those situations, there may have been a fallout between you guys, and it haven't been the same ever since. And those are just a couple of things that we deal with in this life, including friends. You know, a lot of our friends from back in the day were really good people. You know, these were people that were stand-up individuals, people that we could count on, we can have good conversations with, we can go places, we can have fun. We didn't even need no money to hang out. We didn't need nothing. All we had was ourselves, and we were very creative, and we knew how to have fun because the people that we were with were genuine. These were not fake people. These were real people. We could cry in front of our friends. We can laugh. We can giggle. We can tell jokes. We can play card games, video games. We could do whatever, and it was never a dull moment. We always had a time to have fun, whether it was certain holidays that we celebrated as kids, or certain gatherings, or just going to the park and just finding something to do. We just seemed to never had a dull moment. It was always activity as kids. And I really believe that most of us that grew up in the 80s, between the 70s and 80s, those of us that grew up in that time or was born in that time, I think that we had the best childhood in the history of life. I really believe that. I think that the 70s and 80s babies really had the best upbringing, the best childhood in life, because I think that we grew up in a time where we was able to play freeze tag, hide and go seek, Chinese jump rope. And if you don't know what Chinese jump rope is, then you're living under a rock. We're not talking about jump rope like what women do. We're talking about Chinese jump rope. It was a cool game. We played video games. We went to the parks. We played baseball, basketball, football, steal a bacon, blind man bluff, Monopoly, freeze tag, all different types of games we played. And it was never a dull moment, guys. It was the best time in the world. We would literally chip in, buy a pizza pie, hamburgers. We would split burgers. We would go fishing. We would go to Prospect Park in Brooklyn, New York, as for me. And we would just have fun. Go to Coney Island. We would do so much different things, guys. It was the best time in the world. It was just a time to remember, but unfortunately, we all grew up. And once we grew up, we learned that a lot of our family and friends really wasn't there for us. A lot of our friends either died or they betrayed us. And it's just really, really sad. Not all of them, but for the most part, a lot of the people we grew up with, they all turned against us. And now as adults, when you look back, all of your newer friends that are today, they all betrayed you and they all talk about you. And it's like you don't know who's who. And this is why I believe that a lot of people need to just roll solo. Even though we're really not supposed to be solo in a sense, because we're really a social people. We're supposed to socialize with other human beings. It was never meant for us to be alone. It was never meant for that. It's not good to be alone. I mean, even God said that in the Bible. It's not good for man to be alone. So when you think about that, we were never designed to just sit in a box somewhere and just be alone in a room. That's no different than serving time in prison when you really think about it. So it's like, who wants to live in a world where you're alone and you don't got nobody to talk to? Companionship is that of both of the sexes. There's companionship that a man have between a man and a woman. And then you have fellowship between a man and a man. So it's like, when you think about that, we need both. You know what I'm saying? As a man, you need to fellowship with other brothers. As a man, you need to have companionship with a woman. As a woman, you should have fellowship with a sister, a woman. You're supposed to have companionship as a woman with a man. And this is the way life is supposed to be. But when you're alone and you don't got nobody, it become a lonely place. You know, a lot of times we don't like to admit it, but a lot of people are lonely. And to cope with the loneliness, you know, they might say they're living their best life and they're enjoying their single life and all that other stuff, but really they're not. Then it's nothing. You know, you might have peace in the sense that you're not dealing with certain issues that people would deal with if they were in a relationship. But when you're alone in a house and it's just you there and all you see is your dog or your cat, and it's like that every single night, and there's nobody there, no company, it's like it becomes very, very boring and lonely. And it's something that we don't like to admit, but it's very, very true. And it's just sad that in today's day, we have so many family and friends that have plotted against us to destroy our lives, especially as adults right now. We have a lot of these particular friends and families that, you know, they try to sabotage your futures, try to sabotage what you're trying to do, try to put negative information out there about you in hopes that other people won't deal with you, won't work with you, and so forth. And it's really disheartening to see because it's like you would have never thought that this person who you known from a child can be this cruel. And it's like it's your blood, and this is what they do. It wasn't like that back in the day. It wasn't like that with friends or family. There used to be genuine love with family members. There used to be genuine, you know, friendships where you would do whatever for each other. And it's like that. It's not like that no more. You got to be careful who are your friends now because they're plotting against you to take you out. They're plotting to take away everything that you built. They're plotting to, you know, ruin what you started, sabotage your growth, to cause you to be alienated from society. And it's just an unfortunate place to be, man. And it just really is a sick time where friends and families will betray you. And if your family haven't betrayed you already, then they will. Some of y'all are experiencing that right now, where your friends have drawn the line in the sand and they did some things that were out of pocket. And it could have been a situation where maybe you confronted them. You know, maybe you got fed up with it and you said, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of you doing that. I'm tired of you airing me out and spreading these rumors. So you said something about it and you felt that by you saying something that maybe they'll listen to you and we could kind of get through this like adults, but it wasn't that case. They didn't want to listen to your correction or at least your side of the story. And instead they got upset with you and you realize that this is not a friend. This is somebody that's trying to control me. This is somebody that's trying to create hostility and trying to blame me for something that I didn't do. And consequently, you had to protect your peace. And you kind of either said to yourself, I can't really deal with this person because they're trying to destroy me. And that's the thing. The whole time, they were just using you. And I think that's one of the biggest problems today's day is that we allow people in our circle, but we don't know that these people don't have our best interests at heart. Like they really don't. They don't have our best interests at heart. It's like they don't want to see us grow. Some people like seeing you at a certain level. I don't know if any of y'all figured that out by now, but some people are happy with you just being at a certain level in life. They don't want you to go no higher or at least go higher than them. Like if you're at a level where you make 40,000, 45K a year, that's all they want you to make that year. They don't want you to go no higher. They don't want you to make 65 or 75. You know what I mean? And let alone if you make 100K a year, they're going to really get upset because in their mind, they don't believe you deserve to have anything. They believe they're supposed to have the house, the car, and everything else, and you're supposed to live in the ghetto. For some of you guys, some of you ladies, you were on the bottom at one point in life, meaning you were struggling real bad. You probably was living in the hood. You were down and out financially and a pile of debt. And it was a time where you struggled very, very greatly. And nobody was there in your family to support you. and you asked for help. You reached out to cousins, family members, uncles, aunts, grandmothers, mothers, everybody, fathers. And it's as if though nobody took your situation serious, and you went through some deep, hard times. And you'll never forget it, because it's what gave you the character you have today. It gave you the strength that you have today. It sharpened your motivation. It sharpened your determination to continue to excel in life. And what it taught you is that your family was really never there for you. They wanted to see you die. They wanted to see you fall. And it's a terrible thing, because it's like to think that your family would have this much level of hate for you. The people that's supposed to be your blood. It's one of them things where it's like, damn, it's like the people on the outside that are not my family, they treat me better than the people who say they are my family. How many of you are like that? Put a comment in the comment section or in the chat room. Meaning, the people that are not your family treat you better than your own family. In other words, people at your job, people in the community, people you see on the highways and byways, they treat you better than your own blood relatives. That's crazy. And what's so sick about it, if you really think about it in today's day, the people that are on the outside treat you just like the people you knew in the past when you was a kid. They are really there for you. They really have your best interests at heart. They're really genuine people. Whereas your family, they treat you like garbage. They treat you like a second-class citizen. They treat you like you don't even exist. And it's frustrating, because they feel they can abuse you and talk down on you because they're your family. Just because your family doesn't give them the right to belittle you or shame you or make you feel like you're not worth anything, you know? And typically the best revenge in life is success. Success is the best revenge in life, because most of your family and friends, they don't want to see you succeed in life. They don't want to see you grow. They despise you. They despise the air you breathe. They just don't want to see you rise, especially above them. You know, let it be that you end up doing better than your family and friends. They're going to really hate you. They're going to really hate you. If you ever rise to a level where you're doing better than your family and friends, they're going to despise you for a very long time, because they know word is going to spread around the community, and it's going to tell that you're doing great. And when the word come back that you're doing great, everybody in the community is going to remember, like, wait a minute, you're relatives with so-and-so. How is it that your cousin is able to be so successful? And they would have to explain why you and them don't talk no more. Because people are going to ask them, do you talk with your cousin? Like, he's successful. He's a multi-millionaire. You don't see him on TV or whatever the case is. And now they got to be explaining themselves in terms of why nobody see you and them anymore. Whereas back in the day, y'all were tightly knit. And the truth will always come out that y'all don't talk with each other no more. And it's because they betrayed you. And this is why success is very important. This is why, as people, we should focus on our goals, our dreams, focus on the things that we love, and not let family and friends get in the way, because they're going to betray you. Family and friends be the ones that, especially family, they be the ones that hate you the most, man. It's just like, you don't think they would be that way because they're your family. But the truth be told, your family be some of the biggest envy, jealous people ever, man. Like, they don't like the fact that you alive. They don't like the fact that some of you were in an accident and you were able to heal from it. Some of them don't like the fact that you bought a new car. You were walking and taking the bus for years. You finally got a new car. They jealous of you. You know what I mean? They didn't mind when you were living in the hood. They didn't mind when you were out there struggling. They didn't mind about none of these different things. But for whatever reason, once you started to grow economically, once you started to grow in your health, now you're hitting the gym, you know, your physique looking different, you know, you lost weight, whatever the case is, now they're mad with you. Now they're jealous of you. Now they want to talk negative of you. Why? Because you were able to overcome your issues. They're struggling with their own issues, and they're mad because they're unable to be successful. And you are successful. So, yeah, family and friends will betray you, and it's something you just got to prepare for. I suggest you just cut people off. You know, if you realize that your family is being toxic and they're holding you back and they're doing things that are out of pocket, you need to cut them off. Like, don't keep them in your circle. Don't keep them in your life. Don't let them have access to you. It shouldn't even be like that. When people have negative energy, you need to cut them off ASAP. It don't make no sense to be around people like that are negative, and it's like they don't bring nothing of value to the table. If you have friends that have been gossiping about you and talking about you and lying on you, you got to let them go, guys. Now, when you let them go and you cut them off, you got to be prepared, because that's when the smear campaign is going to begin. That's when the gossip is going to really, really kick in. It's one thing that they're betraying you now and gossiping about you now, but it's another thing when you cut them off. That's when they're going to really crash out, and they're going to start to gossip about you. They're going to talk about you negative ways. They're going to play the victim. They're going to be using a lot of subliminals. They're going to be gaslighting you. They're going to be doing all sorts of stuff to try to make you look like you're the person of interest, like you're the one that is the problem starter. You're the one with issues, and it's not even you. You're just trying to live your life in peace. They're trying to take your peace. You know what I mean? They're trying to take a piece of your life with them because you cut them loose. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be afraid to cut people off that are not bringing value to your life. Don't be afraid to cut them off. There's certain people we just don't need around us, guys. There's certain people that bring demons and devils with them. And whether they're family or friends, we got to cut them off. This is not a white thing or a black thing. It doesn't matter who the person is. If a person is evil, if a person have very negative energy, you got to cut those people off. Those people are trying to sabotage your life. I'm only interested in having positive people around me, and you shouldn't let certain people in your house either. Everybody is not welcome, guys. You shouldn't let everybody in your house, because a lot of these people, if they're not positive, they're going to betray you anyway. They're going to get jealous. When they see how you living, your place is clean, it smells real good. Ain't nothing like when you go to somebody's house and the place smells good. That's when you know that is a clean person. It's one thing to have a nice looking house, nice looking property, but it's another thing when you walk in the house and the house just smells good. You know what I mean? It just makes you want to stay. It just makes you know that everything in this house is cleansly. You know what I mean? And if you invite certain people over your house and your house is really spick and span, they're going to be jealous of you. They're going to hate you. And this is why a lot of family and friends have betrayed you, is because they're jealous of you. As simply put, the reason why they betrayed you is all out of jealousy and envy. I mean, and the sad thing about this is you didn't even have much and they're jealous of you. I really don't believe that people are just jealous of you because you have nice things or you have money. People are just jealous of you because of who you are. You could just be a good person. You could be a person with a great personality, and people are jealous of that because they don't have that. You could be the kind of person that dressed nice, you know what I mean? Or you might be attractive, or whatever the case is. There's something about you, certain features about you. They're just jealous because they don't have that. You could be the popular guy, the popular woman, and they're mad because you're the popular guy or you're the popular woman. So they despise you and they want you to die. And it's really sick, the kind of evil that people represent and project on you. They always projecting their negativity on you. How many of you have family members like that? They're always projecting on you, always projecting their demons on you, always accusing you of being the bad person. It's all out of jealousy, guys. They're jealous of you. They're literally jealous of you. They're jealous of your success, and they don't want to see you grow. And it's really unfortunate. So my advice to you guys is, if you have family and friends that are jealous of you, and you would know if they are, you would definitely know if they're jealous, guys. All you got to do is just look at how they carry themselves every time you tell them about something good happening in your life. Anytime you tell family members that you're doing something productive or you're doing something great, if you notice, they always are negative, or they act like it's not important. They're not happy for you. Just look at the way they react. Hey man, I just bought me a new car, and they just kind of brush it off like it ain't nothing. They're jealous. Hey man, I just got promoted on my job, and they're not excited for you. They're jealous of you, man. I know it's tough. I know it's difficult to really think about it because you don't want to believe that your family can be this cruel or friends can be this cruel. But we really got to take inventory of the people that we call friends and family. We got to really look at them and really judge who these people are, because the last thing we want is to be disappointed. A lot of times we've been disappointed. We had people crash out on us. We had people lie on us, spread bad rumors. And these people were people that we considered friends, people that we considered family. And it really hurt. And we don't like going through that. So you got to really screen these people. You got to really know who these people are. And don't just let them just do whatever they do. You know, you got to cut those things off. You know, when you see weeds coming up on your yard, don't let them things grow. You got to pluck them things from the roots. So when you have family and you got friends that are out there doing evil and they literally growing in your life and it's getting worse and worse, you got to pluck them up, uproot them demons, and you got to cast them out, guys. So that being said, rate, comment, and subscribe. Let me know, guys, if this is you, meaning you're going through these issues. Let me know. If these videos are helping you, you got to let me know, guys. When you let me know that these videos are helping you, it allows me to make more videos. It allows me to be encouraged so that I'm able to put out more content that speaks to your situation so that you're able to have the tools, the information, the wisdom, and the encouragement to move forward in life, because we need this kind of energy. We need to talk about these issues because a lot of people are being betrayed by their friends and their family, and it's all out of jealousy and hate. There's a lot of hate in families, a lot of jealous friends, and we got to pinpoint who these people are so we can separate ourselves from them, because that is how we're going to have real peace. But if we keep these people around and keep on playing this, well, I'm going to forgive you, act like it never happened, you know, turn the other cheek type thing, we're going to be miserable, because a narcissist is never going to stop treating you bad. A demon is not going to repent of their evil doings, guys. So we got to make better decisions when it comes to interacting with family and friends. I'm not saying to isolate family, to isolate all your friends and live in total isolation. You got to interact with people. What I'm saying is, if you have to roll solo for now, do it. Do that to protect your peace. But you must know who are your real friends and who are your real family members. And that's going to take time. It's going to take time because you're going to have to really know who these people are, guys. People are very, very hypocritical. They switch up. They know how to act. A lot of times you're not even meeting them. You're meeting their representative. So it's like, man, you got to really jump through hurdles in order to get to know who's who. So that being said, guys, rate, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate all of you guys for watching the video. Remember, guys, without you, I don't even have a platform. So I appreciate you choosing Ringo TV Reactions to pretty much, you know, watch my videos and get some knowledge, get some information. And, you know, we have able to have these discussions in the comments section. So post those comments. Let me know what you think of the video. If you like the video, let me know. Thumb up the video, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell and tell everybody around the world about Ringo TV Reactions. I'm out, guys. Peace.